Okay, I've been out riding around quite a bit today on the Pedego Stretch, and as you can see, I'm well lit up, front and rear. What I wanted to do is tell you a little bit about how the controls work on this bike. Now, this bike is so smooth and powerful, I just wish everybody would come up with a control system that works like this. So hopefully you can hear me. It's getting a little breezy, a headwind, but go for the belt cam. And let's talk about the Pedego control system. Now, well, you're going to find the same control system on their Interceptor models, their City Commuters, and their Boomerang Plus. So we got a control panel. And what's nice about this, you don't have to take your hands off the bars. Don't even have to look away. So when I start out, I'm going to start out with a little bit of throttle to get my balance. And we'll talk a little bit about the shifting and the other stuff. Now, I wasn't really in the lower gear I wanted. So anyhow, normally I ride in about a 2 or a 3 around town. I'm going into a headwind. Let me tilt the camera down so you can see the controls a little bit better. So over here, I'm on 3, and when I quit pedaling, the motor kicks off. Now this has a soft start, so when I start pedaling, the motor comes on nice and smooth to the power setting we got. So we'll go ahead, we're going to finish this out with a nice climb. So I'm going to go up to 4, get a little more power to go around this truck. Now, if anytime I want, I can twist the throttle, get full power. We're going to talk a little bit about that. It uses a full throttle override. So I start pedaling again. The power comes on smooth and easy. No tendency to be thrown off the back or anything. So it's pretty breezy now. So at this point, I'm in number 4. I want to go down to 3. We're in the top gear. It's a nice, smooth cruise. I'm not pedaling very hard. Maybe go down 1 gear. Okay, so let's simulate after we get past these parked cars. I'll show you basically how a stop works. Now, pretty much, you got to pedal a little bit to get a downshift. So I pedal a little, kick it down a couple, start slowing down. Now, at that point, too, the motor might come on when you give it a pedal or two, but you can always hold the brake just a little bit, and that'll keep the motor from coming on. So to get going, we twist the throttle a little bit. Once I start pedaling, I can let off the throttle. The power comes up at a nice, smooth ramp. Once I get going a little bit, kick it into 6, maybe 7, and we're rolling again. So we're going to go down to pedal level 2, and we'll do it again. Now let's talk about the throttle override. Now the way that works is pretty cool. At any time, I can use the throttle and get full power. So if you're in a tight situation, intersection. Now if I go up to number 5, let's do that. Don't even have to take my hands off the bars. Now if I start pedaling, it's going to go to level 5, but that might be a little much. So once the throttle engages, I can actually hold just a little throttle and override the throttle completely. So without having to go down to a lower pedelec level, I'm in control of it. So if I let off the throttle, it'll automatically go up to number 5. And there's no jolting deal. We just get up to full speed real quick. Nothing too crazy. So as I come to the signal, downshift a few gears, make my stop, add a little throttle at first, get my balance. Once I pedal a revolution, the pedelec takes over. Go down to about 2 now. And this is nice, and once we're going, kick the gears down a little bit. And 2 or 3 makes for a nice, easy pace. We're doing about 13 miles an hour, a little bit of a downgrade here. Let's go up to 3, pick it up a little bit. We're in top gear now. Now the gearing matches the motor power pretty well. So I quit pedaling, now we're coasting. So let's do another one of those stops again. Like I say, basically when you pedal the downshift, the motor might want to come on a little bit. Well, you can hold your left brake handle just a little bit, downshift a couple gears, make your stop, start out again, just twist a little throttle. Once you pedal about a half a pedal, motor comes up nice and smoothly up to level 3, and there we go. I mean, it just doesn't get much smoother and nicer. The combination of the pedelec. Now you can also put it into 0 and just use the throttle. You don't have to use automatic pedelec, and that's what I'm doing now, is using the throttle with my right hand. Okay, so here's the grade heading back to my place. So what we're going to do is go up into level number 3, downshift a little bit. We got a nice big grade ahead of us. Now when you hit a grade, you do want to do some pedaling. So let's go to number 4, get a little more power. You want to help the motor some. Don't let the motor do all the work on the grade. You can when you're on level or whatever. You don't have to pedal, but when you're going up a grade, the motor will work too hard if you're not pedaling some to help it. So basically right now we're doing the grade in 3rd gear on the shifting, level 4 on our pedelec, cruising up this hill at 11 miles an hour, smooth and easy. I think I'm going to upshift 1 gear. Now it gets a little steeper up here, so we're probably going to go into level 5. Now once again, if I wanted to, I could just use the throttle. There's maximum throttle there. Downshift 1 gear, we're hitting the steeper part. But I'm going to let the pedelec do the work. I don't have to hold the throttle. It gets a little bit of hand fatigue if you're holding the throttle all the time. So we're getting a little steeper, so I go to level 5, which is maximum. Downshift 1 more. Help the bike. Now the motor is putting out full power now. We're doing just under 10 miles an hour, but now there are some cargo bikes that might pull these hills a little bit tougher, a little bit stronger. But I'll tell you, some of them are just too jumpy on the controls. I want a nice, smooth, non-jumpy control system. And the way the soft start works, the way the throttle and the throttle override works, this bike just says safety all over it. Okay. So we'll come to a stop here. Once again, I'll use a little throttle to get going. Once we're going, I'll let off, and even though in level 5, the motor ramps up a nice smooth deal, there's no tendency to be thrown around. The smoothness level, and now if you're carrying a cargo, kids, whatever, you want it smooth. You don't want it taking off and going too crazy, even though you need enough power to make the hill. So we're doing 11 miles an hour. I'm pedaling at a nice mellow pace, and we're making the hill just fine. So pretty much, that's the way it works. You got your controls. I don't even have to look to choose the up and down on my pedelec. I can go in 0, usually around town, 2 or 3 is plenty. I can use the throttle anytime. Right now, if I give the throttle on, it'll actually go to a lower level, or wherever level I want, even though we're in the maximum assist level, or if we're in the minimum assist level. The throttle will override. It's a true override, and the throttle will tell the bike what to do instead of the pedelec, whether it's more or less power. And I like that too. Anyhow, so as we crest the grade here, we'll go back down to maybe 3. And we're getting back on the level. There's still some more grades coming up back and forth. So Pedego has just done an awesome job getting this system figured out. The controls are smooth, they make sense, they're easy to get to. There's just nothing like the control system on a Pedego Stretch, I'll tell you. And like I say, their Interceptor, their City Commuter, and their Boomerang Plus with the same system work just the same. So I've still got a little more grades to do and stuff, but I'm having a great time. I don't know, I've done 20, 25 miles. I've still got 3 out of 5 bars, and I've been doing some grades and stuff. And so there you go. That's how the control system works on a Pedego Stretch.